Today on Mama Sue's Southern Kitchen, I'm at my sink because so many of you have asked me, how do you do your okra with squash? Alright, I'm going to show you. When I can my okra in the summer, I can some pints because if it's just Harold me, a pint is enough. I have quarts like for when I have company, but I would need a quart tonight if I were not going to add some other things to it. So this is the way the canned okra looks in the jar. If you can see, I did this in 23. It's good for a couple of years. All right, still sealed. I'm going to put that in a colander because I want to wash that really well because it has vinegar in it, and I want to wash all that vinegar taste out. And you know, it wouldn't hurt. It would taste like pickled okra. I think I've got it all out. Now, I'm going to get a paper towel and I'm going to put this over here and I'm going to show you what I'm going to add to it. Alright, I'm going to add some squash. This is just the yellow squash. I've already washed it. But what I do is, most of the time, I'll cut it in fourths. You don't have to. So, I'm adding that. If I was just going to cook the okra, what I do is I put just plain cornmeal in a bag. If you batter yours with flour, you put flour, and I put it in a gallon Ziploc bag, and then I will, it's got just a little space on it, it's okay, it's not bad, but I'm going to cut it off. And then what I would do is put a little salt and pepper in there, and put my okra in the bag, seal it up, shake it, and coat it real good. Now, I have just put cornmeal in the colander and tossed it, and that's fine. But years ago, I saw Hoyt Tidwell, who is a great cook. I have some of his cookbooks. He did his in a bag, and I thought, that is so neat. So I'm going to put 2 squash in here because there's going to be 5 adults. Mason eats a little bit, but he doesn't eat enough to count. He's a good eater, though. I can't wait until I can do this with fresh squash out of the garden and okra. But y'all, canned okra is about the closest thing to fresh that you'll have. And you want to know how I can it? It is in Volume 1 cookbook. Somebody said, do you have any canning recipes? I do, and they're all in Volume 1. I have how I can my tomatoes, my green beans, my okra. Now, I'm going to add some potatoes. I've peeled them, and I'm just going to fourth those. Cut them in cubes. My sister-in-law, Belvin, told me the other night that when she does this, she said, she calls this goulash. Well, I call goulash my ground beef and noodles and all that. But this is very good. It goes a long way. If you don't have much squash, add some potatoes to it. You can even add onions. but I have the potato and the okra and the squash all chopped up. In a gallon Ziploc bag, I put 1.25 cups of cornmeal mix. Then, all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna dump this in the bag, making a mess. This is heavier than if it was just okra because it's the potatoes and squash. But I wanted to show you, you do it the exact same way that you would do fried okra. Alright? Now I'm just going to zip that up. And I'm just going to make sure all of that is covered in the cornmeal. Just keep doing that. And I'm not quite ready to fry this because I have to get some other things ready. But I'll be back. And I'll show you what I do with this. It's mixed up. Can you see? So, just gonna let this sit in the bag until I'm ready to fry it. We're about to cook our okra, potatoes, and squash. I have a big iron skillet. And I'm going to test it to see if it is heating up. Yep, you hear it sizzling? Okay. Whew. You know what I did? That eye was hot. And I set it on it, and it burned a hole. So, gotta get it off. But I'm going to let that cook, get a rag, get that up. You know, I usually don't have a hot eye right there, but I had just cooked some macaroni, and it burned a hole in that bag. All right. Y'all ever do crazy things like I do? Now that was unexpected though. When that cools off, that'll come right off. That's the plastic right there. There. That was the hole. I'm telling you. It happens. We love okra. We love fried squash and we love fried potatoes, so why not do it all together? What I do is I leave it, I have it on 7 on my stove right now. I let the bottom begin to brown, and then I will turn it over and brown it. Now somebody asked me, do you cover it? Sometimes I do, and I might cover this since I have potatoes in it too, because the potatoes will take a little bit longer to cook. Okay, that'll clean up real good now. I'm gonna get me a pot holder. because an iron skillet gets hot on the handle and I don't want to slide it. Y'all have asked me about using an iron skillet on my glass top stove. They recommend that you don't. But I had, in the house that we moved from, it had a glass top stove and I used my iron skillet. I do not push it. I pick it up if I'm going to turn it. Okay. Do you see how that's, can you see it's a little brown? I just want to make sure that these edges get there. And I will let this cook 7-8 minutes. And then I'll turn it again. And I'll come back and show you when it's done. But it doesn't take that long. I have a lid right here that I had used. Alright, I'm going to put that there and that will, you know, make the heat stay in and it'll get tender. But now we like our okra brown, and Harold just likes it really crispy. He wouldn't mind if it was real brown. But I hope that you will try this canned okra. If you put up okra in the summer, we eat a lot. Every time I go to Louisiana, I cook 2 quarts. I have canned it for Chris and Amy down there. And when I cook for her family, I cook vegetables. And basically, I cook the same ones every time. I'll cook peas, purple hull peas. I'll cook fried okra. I'll cook green beans. And I cook, let me see what else. Either chicken casserole and rice, or I will cook cube steak, crock pot cube steak. And they love it, but they all love fried okra. But Ashley, who is my daughter-in-law's sister, absolutely loves the fried okra. And I cook it for her. I told them, I might have told you this, I don't know who all I tell stuff to. But I think it was the last time we were there, I knew I was going to be cooking the next night, and I asked Amy, my daughter-in-law, I said, is Ashley coming? If she's coming, I'm going to fry some okra. And she said, Miss Sue, I like fried okra too. And I said, oh, well, I'm cooking it. I didn't know you liked it as much as she did. But Amy loves vegetables. My daughter-in-law, Amy, she doesn't eat very much meat. She'll eat spaghetti that her mom cooks because she knows her mom uses that extra lean ground beef. And her mom makes the very best spaghetti. Her and my Amy spaghetti is delicious. Amy will she'll eat seafood, crawfish. Oh my goodness, she loves crawfish. Now that's one thing, I will eat it if Chris will peel it and he'll say, here Mama, eat one. I do, and I love shrimp. I don't know what it is. You know, maybe I could get used to it because it tastes a lot like shrimp to me. But they like my vegetables, and I like to eat Chris's jambalaya and things that he cooks. He does a great, let me see, shrimp bisque, I think it's called. I'm not sure. Corn shrimp bisque. It's delicious. I think that recipe's in one of my cookbooks, maybe 3. See that brown? Now the potatoes in here, I have more potatoes than I do okra. So it's not going to be brown like okra normally would be because there's not that much. But now I'm going to let it really brown on the bottom. I'm gonna put it on 5, and just let it cook for just a little bit. What have y'all done today? I love to cook. I don't like cleaning up, but who does? But I do love to cook, and in the summertime, when my vegetables come in from the garden, there is nothing as good as okra out of the garden, peas out of the garden, tomatoes are the best, and squash, corn. Amy said last night, she said, Mama, that corn that you cooked when Uncle Gary was here was the best I've ever had. And I told her that Jake and Kara from church brought me a 5-gallon bucket of corn last year. They said, we put up all we want, and I said, oh, I'll definitely put this up. It was the very best. And I told them not too long ago, I said, I want to buy some this year from you. We don't plant corn. That's one thing that we don't plant. I'll buy it, and it's so good. I do my cream corn, and I cook mine in the microwave. I'll have to show you how I do that. So easy, and it's delicious. But I'll tell you, I don't want to stay on here while that is just gonna cook just like that for probably about 5 more minutes. And when I take it up, I will show you. This is the okra and squash and potatoes. I took them up, and they're going to be so yummy, but I just wanted you to see what they were like. Now, when I did take them up, I put them on a paper towel for a little bit, and then I put them in my dish. Thank you for watching these Salt and Light, and I'll be back soon.